welcome to the first inaugural episode of Flow with Mo. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mohan Gulati. I'm CEO and co-founder of Thinkrr.ai, a platform that I've created that helps small to medium-sized businesses, especially financial advisors, accelerate their growth with AI technology, especially voice AI, and the ability to enable them to do things that they couldn't do before at an exponential rate. And it's super exciting because it's just the start of things for Thinkrr.ai, and there's a lot more coming. We're delighted to tell you that I'm here with, my sister Sujata de Souza, in what we're going to talk about: financial literacy, AI, technology, and really behind the scenes journeys of what has happened. And why this excites me is because we're talking about a niche that's become very dear to my heart as I start to understand the value of financial literacy and what it means for people who have access to this and those who don't. And for me, it's all about sharing that knowledge, and it's what's motivated me to create Flow with Mo with AI so that we can talk about that. So with that, I'd like to introduce again my sister and somebody who's introduced me to this world in a big way, onto our inaugural episode, Sujata de Souza. Welcome, Sujata.
Thank you. Thank you.
So maybe you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure, absolutely. So good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, whatever time zone you're listening to this. My name is Sujata de Souza, and I am excited to be here on Flow with Mo and with AI. It's something that I always thought about doing, but hey, it's happening now, and thank God it's with my brother, so I can be comfortable. So for those of you, just to introduce myself to you all, I'm a born and raised Canadian. I grew up in Canada all my life, living actually on the East Coast in Ontario. And I did everything I was I always say, quote unquote, told to do, right? Which was, go to school, get an education, and then graduate. And then what are you supposed to do? Get a job and get married, right? So I did all those things as per the expectations. But what I realized slowly as the journey began was it wasn't that easy. I wasn't told about the hiccups that were going to come along the way. And unfortunately, I started my career prior to getting married at CIBC, one of the local banks here in Canada. And as I started there, I started to see a gap in the financial world and the clients that were coming into the banks. And I really, really did not enjoy it. And I really wanted to get out. And then fast forward a little bit, I worked there for a few years, and then I got into the mortgage industry in 2003. And I started becoming an independent mortgage agent to help people do the financing for one of the most exciting aspects of their life. But shortly after that, I ended up getting very sick. I actually ended up on deathbed, and I was told I wouldn't live to see the next day. They actually told my husband and my parents to prepare for my funeral. If you ever watch movies and you see those heart monitoring machines, that was me. All I was waiting for was the flat line, but that night I had a very profound experience, a very spiritual experience, actually, that guided me to stay, right? To stay here and know that I had a bigger purpose. And I woke up the next morning, obviously with lots of struggles and a long recovery. I ended up selling my house and going to India and carrying myself naturally through meditative practices. I was told I wouldn't be able to bear children. Didn't like that diagnosis at all, because I wanted 10 children, 4 sets of twins, and 2 boneless. I had it all figured out. But what happened, Mohan, was, to my surprise, I realized I was an emotional spender. And when I was happy, I spent money. And it didn't matter if I had it or not, right? Because I could use credit cards. So my son's first birthday, my husband and I sat down and we were $86,000 in debt. And I came from the financial industry, which was shocking.
So wait a second. You just told us you couldn't have children, and now you had a child?
I did. Yeah. I had my child. Sorry, I must have skipped that part. So after I came back from India, I ended up getting pregnant. Yes. And I had my one miracle baby who, knock on wood, he's healthy. And he's now almost going to be 18 years old. Right. So I've been very blessed. Yeah. And, so at his first birthday, we sat down and we're like, oh my gosh, we're in so much debt. What happened, right? And then we realized very quickly that if we didn't change something, he was going to inherit debt.
Mm.
And we literally, I mean, not to get spiritual on the call or anything, but we literally prayed that night. And the next morning, somebody inboxed me on Facebook.
Hmm.
And I was skeptical, just like every other human being. I was not going to, because it was somebody I didn't know. And they were inviting me to come and listen to some seminar. And I was very skeptical. But my
So
husband,
hold on a second. So
yeah.
you're talking about like this happened to you, you saw something in you, but you didn't really tell us like what it was. So you kind of saw what was in this message that you received.
Oh, it was just an invitation. It was an
To
invitation
what?
to come to a meeting to
Okay.
because they're looking to because I was in mortgages at the time. So somebody had
Okay.
messaged me asking me, oh, our firm is looking for some mortgage agents to work with, and
Hmm.
we have about 40 agents to refer business to you. So I
Hmm.
wasn't so keen to go because of that, because I didn't want to become another salesperson,
Yeah.
right? But my husband said, you know what? It came to us after we prayed on it. Just go and see. You owe it to your prayers to go and see it. So I went
Hmm.
more out of an obligation
Hmm.
than looking for anything. But to my surprise, when I sat there in that presentation, um, the gentleman who was doing the presentation, I barely understood his English, and he was a veterinarian by profession teaching me finance. And he was talking about finance in such a way that I've never heard before. He talked about the aspect of learning finance before acting on it and being
Hmm.
able to understand the steps you need to take rather than just do it, right? Or be told
Hmm.
to do it.
Hmm.
And that resonated with me. It really resonated with me because I realized at that point that was the gap for me personally, because I was just selling products. I wasn't
Hmm.
educating consumers. And I realized that's a huge gap in our industry as well. So fast forward, I got started with the company,
Hmm.
and a year later we were debt free,
Hmm.
and we were able to begin our journey of building our financial foundation through financial literacy.
So amazing. So like you've been in this business for some time now and you've been working at it. Um, Take us through some of the challenges that you might have had when you started off. Like if somebody's interested in, first of all, learning about financial literacy, but then, even kind of dedicate themselves like you to a career path in this choice, what were some of the, maybe like one, just to keep it brief, but like here's one of your struggles that you had.
I'm going to say my biggest struggle was self-doubt.
Okay.
You got to believe in yourself and you got to believe in what you're doing, but it's hard to do it when your situation's not reflecting it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are not in that place, you almost are a little bit hesitant or scared to tell others to do something that because you're not practicing what you preach yet. So for me, that was the hardest thing as I got started. There was a lot of self-doubt. Um, for me right now, what I find if you're going to look at a career, I think the most important thing, I always tell people this, make sure that you're offering something that doesn't cost something, because people that
Mm-hmm.
actually need financial education can't afford to pay for somebody to teach them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is make sure that what you're giving is a service that's needed. If people need, I mean, today, I mean, you can ask me from the doctor to the housewife, everybody needs financial education, right? To our teenage children, they all need financial education. So there is a huge demand for what we're doing. So what you need to understand and how I can tell anybody to overcome what I went through, dedicate yourself first to becoming financially literate. Attend the workshops, learn, grow yourself first so you build your confidence on what you're teaching first before you can go out there and do that.
That makes sense. So it's like just the fact the obstacle was just like having the confidence in being able to like speak as somebody who's an authoritarian, which is true of many types of like niches or work. Like it's not only exclusive to financial advisors. This is true in almost any career path that you might choose. I know in technology, it's quite common. You start off as a developer. You may not feel as strong as some other developers, have doubt, am I that good? Am I not that good? It's kind of over time. So that makes a lot of sense. Um, could you share maybe also a success story that stands out, like with all of the clients that you worked on and what you've done? Like, tell me something that's a great success story, something you saw where it transformed somebody's life.
I have quite a few, but I'll share one with you that I liked. I actually talk about a lot. I sat with a family. This was a couple with three young boys, and they were going through some financial hardship. They had overextended themselves in debt, had a mortgage, no saving. Both had great jobs. Both were working in unionized companies, one for the city and one for automobile industry. And, we sat down with them and we went through their finances and, through what we were able to do through the process of learning and getting things done, we were able to consolidate a lot of their debt and free up some cash flow for them to start saving money. And, and that was great. We were able to save them close to $2,000 a month. Now, after that, I had a meeting with them for a review. This was about almost a year later. And I sat down and the wife pulled me aside and she said to me, she goes, Sujata, if you did not come into our life at that moment, we were ready to raise our children as single parents. You saved my family and you saved my marriage. She goes, thank you.
That's pretty
And
awesome.
right. And that gave me purpose because I knew I was making a difference in other people's lives. Yeah.
So maybe on that note, take me through why you think financial literacy is so important today. Why is it such an important thing?
How is it not important? Unfortunately or fortunately, money is the extreme of exchange today in our world. And, if you look at today statistically, 90% of our hospitals are full because of
Hmm.
stress-related diseases. What's the number one stress factor? Money. Okay.
Mm.
Marriages, number one factor for marriage breakups is financial issues.
Mm.
So when I look at this and I look at why financial services, why financial literacy, first of all, people got into the situation because our industry was greedy. Our industry was
Yeah.
greedy to sell product, to give you overdraft protection, to give you line of credits, to give you credit cards. We just started pouring it out like it was candy, and everybody took it because it was very sugar coated without the understanding of the implications of it.
Mm.
Now we're coming in and we're telling people, no, 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 wait, don't do that. Come and learn, invest your time first, value yourself first, learn what you need to do. So you not only can fix your situation, but you understand exactly what needs to happen and you understand the journey it takes to get there and stay on course. I find financial literacy gives
Yeah.
people that clarity.
Awesome. And inspirational. So just to kind of move it on, where are you today in your journey, in your professional journey? Where do you feel, what have you achieved and what's kind of coming next for you? What are your goals and future aspirations?
I mean, I've been very blessed, Mohan, to have helped close to just shy of 1,000 actual clients at this moment. And I've been doing this for just about 16 years now. And to service 1,000 clients, you have to be very much on top of your game. But that is between me and my husband. They actually say the typical advisor shouldn't have more than probably 400 to 500 clients. All right. So I'm kind of at my par if you say that. But my goal is a lot bigger than that because my goal is not just what I can do, but it's what I can train others to do. And I want other people to be, because then through others, because they always say you only have 24 hours in a day. But if I can have 10 people and now I have 240 hours, how many more people can I impact? Right? They say if you want to grow prosperity, you grow people.
Yeah.
And I want to grow people because I realize if we really want to change this world, my vision is, I mean, you're going to laugh at this, but I want my picture in Times Square and everybody saying, hey, because of this lady, my family's legacy changed. And I really want that. And I really want to impact 1 million families personally in the next 10
Wow.
years. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So maybe on that note, we can talk about how has technology, you know, um, changed your approach to financial advising since you started your career?
Well, thank you, Thinkrr.ai, right? Definitely.
Plug, plug.
Plug, right? Absolutely. No, I mean, okay, so let me talk to all the non-techie people on this who's listening to this, okay? I'm not technical at all, and I'm very fearful of it, to be honest with you. But one thing I realize is the world is changing fast,
Yeah.
and if we don't change with it, we're going to be left behind. And
Mm.
that scared me even more. So I had two choices. I either live in my fear of not doing anything and being left behind, or I face my fear and I go with it. And I have to say, Thinkrr.ai, you guys have been amazing, especially, I mean, maybe because I'm biased, he's my brother, but I mean, it's been an amazing journey so far. The support mechanism and even his team that they're working, these guys are always there, always trying to improve. And what it's done for me already, and I'm quite virgin in the whole world still, I believe, but what it's done for me is it has given me a whole different view on what I am capable of doing without the limitations of my time, my mood, my emotions. Thinkrr.ai or AI in general is allowing me to be more proactive rather than reactive in my business. It's allowing me to go forward and do the things I need to do. Simple things like making phone calls, right? That's what it's allowing me to do.
Yeah, the platform definitely is, strategically built to allow you to make, 100 phone calls in 10 minutes if you want. So how do you see AI impacting the future of your business now that you've started to adopt technology? How do you see AI kind of playing into that?
I see AI making it so much more efficient, so much more, less gaps in the follow-up, in the approaching, in the implementation, right, of everything that needs to be done. I also feel it's going to give me a huge ability to have more opportunities to not only get referrals, but also to expand upon my own clients to see if there's a bigger platform for them to take advantage of. I feel also it's going to make me the queen of communication, which is something I wanted to be, right? I wanted to always make sure that I'm there. And when they have a problem or they're concerned, the first person they're going to hear from is me.
Awesome. Well, this has been an absolute blast listening to your story first and foremost, and then hearing how your future plans can evolve. I think maybe we can do another, maybe down the road, another episode and see how things are going and hear your updates. That would be really, really cool. And do you have any kind of last things you want to share with people? Any message you want to give out there, both about financial literacy or about AI, whatever's like in your kind of thoughts right now?
Sure. I mean, my final message to everyone's going to be face your fears, get out of your comfort zone, because everything happens outside of that. And you might not think financial literacy is for you, but it's for everyone. You might not think AI is for you, but I trust me, it is the way we are going. If you haven't even experienced it yet, you probably have without even realizing it. So the faster we are to adapt, the better, the less we're going to resist and we're going to adjust it's just like a boat. The sail has to adjust according to the wind. It's the same thing in our lives as well. So we have to adjust. AI is here to help us, not fearful. Don't be fearful of it like me. Accept it, embrace it. And
well, you're not fearful of it. You're actually accepting it. You're an
I've
early
accepted
adopter.
it. Absolutely. I'm past the fearful age, but I'll tell you, marry the two worlds. Whatever you're doing, whatever path you're taking, marry it. Bring AI into it, see how it can do, what it can do for you. I've done it with the financial education, financial literacy business. And I'll tell you, there is no limit, right? They say the sky's the limit. It's not true. Somebody was on the moon. So let's go and shoot for those stars and make it happen.
On that note, we'll say thank you to you for coming and really appreciate your time. And it was really fun hanging out with you again.
Thank you.